Hey guys, I'm learning TFT. In this video, I'm going to follow up on my previous Smeech 3 Ambusher Reroll video and talk about one specific line that I did not mention, which is the Chem-Baron line. So I just posted this video on Top Players Love Ambusher Reroll, and I talked about how that line has a zero point 0.7 AVP improvement over last patch, and I suspect this is getting optimized even more. And one specific line, and I just played 4 games of it after the video. I got 2 firsts and 2 eighths, and I'm still learning how to play the line better. So I suspect I should be able to improve the performance of this line. Firelight worked out really well. I was almost trying to force this line from suboptimal spots. So if I were playing more normally, I suspect I wouldn't have necessarily gone this line in at least one of these games. But there is one specific line with Chem-Baron I want to talk about, which is if you are able to get a Executioner's Chain Blade, either 1 or 2, this item is completely broken on Smeech. It gives Smeech attack damage, attack speed, execute, and on kill gives him durability and damage amp. And because he's jumping around killing the weakest unit or unit that has, because he leaps towards the enemy with the fewest items, he'll typically proc this durability and damage amp very quickly, which makes him almost unkillable. Flesh Ripper is also good. This is like a better GA where he'll become untargetable, restore health, gain AD, and get Omnivamp. So both of these, Executioner's Chainblade and Flesh Ripper 2, are very good. Even Flesh Ripper 1 is like serviceable. And Voltaic Saber 2 can help as well, but you should really be looking for Chainblade ideally. And if you look at the loot table, you can get tier 1 items starting at 200 stacks with a duplicator. You can't get any 2-star Smeech. You can get 2-star Rennie here. So you can get a 1-star Smeech here. But where it gets interesting is at 300 Shimmer stacks, where you can get a Smeech 2 and an Executioner Chainblade 2, or you can get a Flesh Ripper 2 and a Savika. Or there's also this one where you get a Smeech 2 and a tier 2 item. So the board, if you're able to put together a Chem-Baron board, the way I did it was these 3 Chem-Baron units. And then you want all of your ambushers: Powder, Camille, Echo, and eventually you want to get to Jinx. But at level 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So before you get this Jinx, you can put in, you can put in a Loris for Enforcer Sentinel. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, this fits together really nicely. And if you're able to get a Rennie 3, you can also just throw in like an Elise or a Nunu, or like a Trundle. Actually, Steb works instead of Loris as well. Although if you have a Smeech 3, you want the extra armor magic resist here. If you do have a Rennie 3 first, and like I was also solo frontlining, and we'll see this in the video, the Rennie then with like a stone plate, then you can throw in Steb. But Steb or Loris fit in really well as that 7th unit, and you can roll there. So basically, you're taking out what would have been the Garen and the Scar and throwing in the Chem-Baron units. So I wanted to cover this line since I didn't cover it in my last video. It's pretty niche because you do need to hit a quite specific scenario at 300 Shimmer stacks. At 400 Shimmer stacks, you can also get a 2-star Smeech, but 300 Shimmer, you have like a 5% chance for this one and a 15%. So like a 20% chance you get a 2-star Smeech plus hopefully a decent item, which is decent odds. And you get a 1-star Smeech here as well. So with that said, let's jump into the VOD. I'm gonna skip ahead. So I have what could be a Conqueror start here. And here I'm like trying to get a stronger start. Don't find any great options, so I'm thinking Wandering Trainer, if I could get like a Conqueror emblem, that could be good, or just like a broken emblem. And I end up hitting Black Rose and Chem-Baron, which in the past I would have just instantly thought, okay, that's Black Rose Silco right there. But now that I have played with the Smeech line a little bit more, I have been keeping in mind this 300 cash out. And if I happen to hit Smeeches, then I might play towards that. So I want to make 10. I don't mind losing. I don't want to slam items since I can hopefully get a Renata or even like off of Carousel. My odds are pretty good. I could get a Smeech or Rennie. And usually you would want to start Chem-Baron no later than 2-3 as of last patch. And this patch, you pretty much want to start it at 2-1 for it to really make sense. Because you need to hit like a 400 or 500 cash out if you're playing a fast 8 strategy. But I suspect this is actually maybe even a more optimal way of playing Chem-Baron now, which is going for the 300 cash out, which is a lot more manageable. You are able to cash out with a lot more HP, being a lot more stable. By the way, I want to make 20 here and I want to lose to try to get the 3 loss streak going into Carousel to find a Chem-Baron off of Carousel. But this strategy does rely on you getting that 20%. I mean, there's that 55% case where you can get 2 tier 2 Chem-Baron items as well. I do see the Smeech here, so at this point I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give it a try. I haven't tried this Smeech Ambusher Chem-Baron line before. So going back to the table for a second, we have like a 55% chance of getting a Smeech here, 15%. So like you have a 20% chance of getting one of these two. Actually 25% since Flesh Ripper 2 is also viable. So 25% chance of getting like pretty good scenarios. And then you get one Smeech here and like a decent chance of getting the ideal target tier 2 item there as well. So your odds of playing this line and getting this like a reasonable Smeech line is not bad. Plus, if you're playing Chem-Baron, you can always choose to go for more than 300 if you want. In this game, I could have actually gone for higher than 300 with reasonable amount of health. But once I saw, and we'll find out which one I get, I think there is an argument to just not even go for higher than 300 if you get the ideal, like if you get Executioner's Chainblade or Flesh Ripper 2, either of those. And you can also get Executioner's Chainblade 1 like earlier here, but you like maybe with this one Smeech or this one Smeech. But I think 300 is the ideal target. So I'm on 500, or sorry, 5 lost here. I'm way behind what would normally be a Chem-Baron angle since I started at 2.5. But again, I don't need to have a huge cash out. I just need to get to 300 and hopefully I hit something that's useful for Smeech. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do GS or QSS. QSS kind of locks me into doing the Ambusher line. So I still wanted to be flexible with like if I wanted to go Silco, Black Rose. So that's why I took GS there. I didn't want to take Shojin just in case. I did want to go the Smeech line, though Shojin could be good on Jinx really late game, but that's like, you know, playing for an out that you might not hit. And I probably should have like slammed items to preserve health. But I've been briefed so many times and I was still trying to figure out how I was going to navigate this line. So I was just like, all right, whatever, I'm just going to lose HP. And then here I see Vampiric Vitality, which is actually really good for Chem-Baron. I haven't actually taken it before for Chem-Baron, but the Omni-Vamp, when you're thinking about it for like a normal Black Rose Silco, like Chem-Baron, or just vertical Chem-Baron cash out, the Omni-Vamp's not that great for Silco, but it's like perfectly tailor-made for for this line of Smeech. So I actually forgot to add this to the augment sharp, so I'll do that. This is like S tier if you have Chem-Baron. Let me update that really quickly. Move it over. Okay, and we can keep watching. Because you're gonna cash out ideally at 300 with Smeech if you get one of a good scenario, and then you can start healing up. And as you start healing up, you could start going on a massive win streak because Smeech is super stable with either Executioner's Chainblade or what was the other one? Or Flesh Ripper 2. And so then you can start healing up and collect like even more Chem-Baron cash outs. So here I'm like, all right, I'm praying that I can get a good 300 cash out. I don't want to make the Smeech 2 yet because some of these other players, like this guy that has Zeri 1 right now. So I'm a little bit worried that I would beat this player. You never know if your Smeech 2 could just jump straight onto the Zeri and kill her. I'm at 225. I just need 2 more. I could do 1 loss and then 1 win to get to 300. I do see a Rennie here, so I'm like, all right, I'm just going to take the Rennie. I ideally would like to have a BT and Titans, which I have the Titans, but I don't have a BT. I would need a Cloak. So if I didn't see the Rennie there, I probably would have gotten a Cloak. Since BT is better than Hodge in the stats. I save Shimmer, get the 6 Chem-Baron in. So now, I forget if I can, I'm just like, all right, I want guaranteed loss. Then I realize I'm playing against the win streakers. So, should be okay. This may have been a little bit too aggressive. I'm playing the full streaker, but if this, I almost accidentally won this. Like if my Smeech had killed that Zyra, I would have won that. So that was really close. I should not have slammed so aggressively. So I'm 1 off the 300 cash out here. And I'm concerned that I might win. And I still, at this point, wanted to leave open the possibility of going for 400 or 500. Probably 400, not 500. And I see that I'm not playing against that other weak player, so I slam. And even then, if my Smeech had jumped onto that Swain, it's possible I could have won that fight. I'm at 365. I could have very easily gone 1 more loss here and then 400 cash out to stabilize, hopefully around both probably at that point Smeech and Silco, and then switch over to a Black Rose line. But I see this Executioner's Chainblade 2. So I high rolled this 5% out. Though again, I could have gotten this one. I could have gotten this one with an Executioner's Chainblade. You can even get Executioner's Chainblade 2 plus a Flesh Ripper 2. That's also possible. Well, I guess it would have to be tier 1 for one of them, and then tier 2 for the other. So that would have also been possible. But I see this and I'm like, all right, I haven't tried this before. I want to experiment with it. So let's see what happens. And I'm like leaving 65 on the table with 6 Chem-Baron. So we go for it and let's see what happens. So at this point, I'm going to roll at 7 for Smeech 3. I want to get more of the ambushers in. I just won the fight, so I don't need so many Chem-Baron in. And Titan's BT, Executioner's Chainblade, it's quite good. I didn't really know what units I was supposed to play here. Ideally, I would have the Singed with a Sentinel in. And now I just want to win, and every time I win, I get a percent, I forget what was it, 20% of the damage dealt as HP back. So I'm at 26 health right now. Let's try to remember that. I gained 2 health. But let's see at the end of the game where I end up, because I started at 26 health. So I want to try to find a team-wide augment that's good for the Smeech. This is like not bad. I actually used this to win with my other where is it? My other rank first place game here. I had Ambusher Emblem with Vi and this trait reunion, which actually worked out really well with both the Echo 2 and the Vi 2 with Ambusher Emblem. They were both doing a lot of work. But in this game, I want to really power up my Smeech. And because my Smeech already has the Execution Chainblade 2, I figured out of these three, Powered Shield is like, it's not great, but it's not bad. And when BT shields, I'll also gain the extra durability. So just make sure that he doesn't accidentally get one shot down. Because if he only gets hit a little bit, he'll heal back up really quickly since he's outputting so much damage. All right, so we go with Powered Shields. I see the Rumble, and I know I'm going to play the Singed, so then I should be playing the Rumble instead of the Loris. Though the Loris with the Enforcer is okay, but since I'm not carrying a Camille 3, the Enforcer doesn't really do too much. And I just need to figure out how to kill some of these components. I don't want to build like red buff because in here I could just shave the shimmer. Since I have both the powder and the rumble likely coming in, there's not really a need for more anti-heal. And normally you'd be playing like Garen and Scar, which is why it keeps showing up in my team planner. But here with Chem-Baron, I probably could have gone down to 3 Chem-Baron and just played around more of a supporting cast there. Even get in like a Tristana could have helped the Smeech, but you can see that my Smeech 2 is like cleaning up fights in stage 4. And even the Echo 1 is doing a good amount of work if we take a look at the damage chart later. But this Executioner's Chainblade on Smeech is just like completely broken. So we get a BT on Echo. And this is like a pretty decent, this is a Corki 2 6 scrap level 8 board, and our Smeech just dominated. And that Echo still did 3k damage. So here we get Last Chance, which again, if Smeech gets one shot, that's how you lose. So just having an extra life. I don't have GA on him, and I have the BT. Last Chance isn't great with Titans. I think it resets, but usually if Smeech does die and it's just facing the enemy carry at the end, he should be able to finish off and clean up the fight. So this Smeech is just doing work now. It's like so pleasurable to watch Smeech doing his thing. Probably not as fun on the other side though. I thought I would have needed to roll down more aggressively. Remember, I was at, I believe, 24 HP, I want to say, when I first cashed out Chem-Baron, and it's been a 5 win streak since then. I thought I would need to roll earlier, but so far I haven't. I was kind of waiting to see if I needed to. If I lost, I would have rolled. But I'm 1 off now. Hit the Rennie. But I build the Even Shroud since I don't have Shred yet for the Smeech. And finally get taken down against that Zeri 3. So we hit. We're almost at a 200 cash out for Chem-Baron. Which is also interesting because you could get 200-300 cash outs with this if you stabilize. and get get both the Flesh Ripper 2 and the Executioner's Chainblade 2 if that opportunity arises. So there's a duplicator, which would have come in handy if I did not hit that Smeech yet. I do high roll the Jinx, and so now we're off to the races. We saw in the stats in the last video that the difference between four and five ambushers is a 1.6 AVP diff. So that Jinx is pretty big. And here I have a Rennie 3 with just one item, so I'm thinking Stone Plate. I could have also gotten a third item and moved those items over to Jinx. And then eventually, if I hit a Rumble 2, I could go for items on Rumble as well, especially since I'm giving Rumble so many upgrades right now. But we go for the Stone Plate. And I move the items over to Jinx. Now it's a Corki 2, Echo 2. And it's still a pretty straightforward win. We're at 31 HP now. We did lose one fight. So actually, if we didn't have this augment that lets us vampiric, whatever, I forget what it's called, lets us heal a little bit, we would have probably been on one life right now. So this was the player that we lost to last time. Smeech jumps onto the Zeri, jumps onto the Kog'Maw, and we're able to then clean up the rest of the fight, knock them out. I'm going to save the Ambessa since at this point I believe I've beaten everyone in the lobby. Ambessa would give me 7 stacks of armor magic resist, which is 14 armor magic resist. So she's probably my next in. And one more Rennie item. Get the Ambessa in. Now it's just enjoying the ride. Almost at 300 cash out. So we can see if we are able to get an even better Smeech item. If we do get the Flesh Ripper 2, we could take out the Titans. And I'm still missing the Echo 2. I think there were 2 other players with Echo 2s, one of whom died, so that's why I started rolling for it now. And this player is also really strong. Savika 2, Corki 2, Alawi 2 has a Victor. Smeech instantly takes out the Victor before it can cast. And look at this Smeech go. We do die, and then that last chance saves the fight. So here, the game's about to end, so I figure, all right, might as well cash it out. Destabilize Chem Tank's pretty good on Rennie. Don't really have anyone to put Virulent Virus on at this point. Find a Victor. So we could take out the... It'd probably be the... Oh, we have one extra Chem-Baron. So we could have taken out the Singed. And put in the Victor. But I do find an Ambusher emblem here, which lets me take out the Powder, since I already have Scrap with the Rumble and Echo. And we can put the Ambusher emblem on the Rumble, since we have so many upgrades already on the Rumble. And we don't really have Ambessa items. This player is also looking for a Rumble too. Fights are actually quite close. Well, it was before. But this Smeech isn't really close to getting taken out. Still haven't found the Echo 2, but at this point, we're looking pretty good. All right, so to wrap it up, just wanted to open up this Chem-Baron line for you as an alternative to play this Ambusher Smeech Reroll. It's quite good, and I suspect maybe a more optimal way of playing Chem-Baron and far less variance. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have additional thoughts and comments, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.